Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a little bit different video than normal. We're going to do a top 5 things I like and dislike about my 2018 Jeep Compass Trailhawk. I have owned it for just over 2 years now. I've put 44,000 miles on it, so I figured now was the time to finally do a top 5 likes and dislikes. Number 1 on my top 5 likes is definitely going to be the colors. I love the colors on this Jeep, and I love the orange with the black top. I just think it looks awesome combined together. It's just it just drew me to the car immediately. I do like the red badging to go with it too. Number 2 on my likes would have to be the handling in the snow and ice. I haven't actually tried my new tires yet in the snow and ice, but in 2019, that year, we had a really bad ice storm, and in that ice storm, my girlfriend actually got stranded in another town due to her vehicle not being able to make it through the snow easily and the ice. And I was able to get there without a problem, passing multiple 18-wheelers and cars off the road due to the ice. So I was very impressed at that point with how well this Jeep does in the snow and ice. This is the first SUV I've ever owned. I always have owned sports cars or sedans. I've never owned anything with actual power per se, or four-wheel drive. I've only owned things with power. So number 3 on my top 5 would have to be, as my stepdaughter likes to say, the butt warmers. So the fact that it has heated seats is real nice, but what my favorite part about the heated seats is that this has the cold weather package on it. So with the cold weather package, with auto start, it turns the heated seats on, the heated steering wheel. It also turns on the heated mirrors and heated windshield wiper blade system, which I've never had heated windshield wiper blades before now, so that was completely new to me. The only problem is, before the first winter I even had it, the windshield got broke. So once the windshield gets broke, you no longer have the heated windshield wipers. So I've been told they work great. I haven't personally got to experience it. I'm hoping to here this fall. I'm actually getting ready to have that replaced, so I'll finally be able to experience the heated windshield wiper blades. Can't wait to see how that works. The number 4 for me would have to be all the different Easter eggs that Jeep puts in their vehicles. So this Jeep, for example, has Nessie here. It also has the old Willys Jeep logo there. It has the American flag on that side and that side. And then moving forward, and this is just a couple of them, every day you can keep looking and find more and more. It also has Morse code on the floorboard, and we got ourselves a little lizard guide right here. And then we have another old Jeep logo there. And then for my 5th on my top 5 would have to be a tie between having the towing package added onto mine and the off-road mode selectors. Having both those has been a real big benefit for me, because building a race car, I need motor parts, I need motors, stuff like that, and just having a vehicle like this that can tow 2,000 pounds means I can easily carry a motor or a transmission or rear end. Just can't tow a car. So it's always kind of a benefit to be able to just get a small trailer and put that kind of stuff in it and be done with it, instead of having to get a truck and go through all that hassle of having to deal with that. And then on top of that, having the mode selectors, having the snow, sand, mud, or rock. I have used the rock, I've used the mud, and I've used the snow. We don't really have sand out here, so I can't say that one. And I've been very impressed with how well they deal with the different conditions. It's almost like a completely different vehicle in each setting. That's what I love the most about that. Okay, going forward though, here's my top 5 dislikes. And unfortunately, this is gonna sound like I'm just gonna complain about everything. For number 1, it has to be the engine oil consumption. It's a big deal with the Jeep. Well, actually not even just Jeep, with Dodge and Fiat engines as a whole. The 2.4 liters, the multi-air Tiger Sharks are having issues with oil consumption. I have actually had to get this have an oil consumption test done on it. I think they did 5 times, and they finally just said, yeah, it's good. Apparently good equals 1 quart of oil every 2,000 miles. They tell you, okay, simple solution is change the oil every 5,000 miles. But the problem is, in the actual manual, it says there's no exact date. There's no exact mileage. On the oil changes for this, in the manual itself, it says the system will tell you when it's ready for an oil change. The problem with that is, the last time that the system told me to do an oil change, it also told me that I had no oil left because the oil pressure light turned on and I had no oil left in the motor. I had maybe, I think it was a figure out, I had 2 quarts of oil left. Because my Jeep likes to use 1 quart of oil every 2,000 miles, which is acceptable. But not when your computer decides that, oh, it can go a lot further than it should. Because unfortunately, like my case, that means you run the motor out of oil. It hasn't had an issue since then, so I'm kind of happy about that. But that's my biggest issue with this. My second on my top 5 dislikes is the 9-speed transmission. Now, you can get a different transmission, but I think the Trailhawks only come with the 9-speed. The 9-speed is great, but I like the idea of having 9-speed. I thought, sweet, this is going to be great. Then I found out first gear only works in rock mode because it is low gearing for off-road. I get it. Second gear is fine. The other issue is 9th gear. You can only hit 9th gear at like 85, 90 miles per hour. At that point, why is there a 9-speed? Because I don't know any speed limits out here that are close to that, so unless you're speeding, you should never hit 9th gear. And with having so many different options and gears, sometimes when you need to pass somebody, it doesn't really know what gear it wants to be in. It'll downshift 2 or 3 times, and then it'll upshift right after it downshifted. Could just be mine. I'm not sure. My third dislike on it is when you do use auto start, every now and then the climate control just decides it wants to go max heat or max AC. I may have not had it on max AC, but it'll randomly choose max AC. Or I will have it on max AC during the summer here. So in Missouri, our summers are 100 degrees with high humidity. It's not fun. And it's really worse when you use your auto start thinking, oh, this is gonna be great because it's gonna be cooled off by the time I get to it, and then you realize for some reason it turned the high heat and has been blasting even more heat, the whole auto start system. So I don't know if it's just a gremlin of mine, which could be, but it does it once in a great while, so it's no point in me trying to take it to a dealership because I'll just not have a chance to get to. It'd be so hard for me to get it to replicate without them having to take it for forever just to find what's wrong with it. My fourth thing on my top 5 dislikes is kind of just petty for me because it's the transmission light. This system has been known to just not work. So the lights, when I start my Jeep, they will flash on. So they'll flash like that, and then nothing's there. It just immediately stops working immediately. So doesn't do me any good. It's fine during the day. It's not so great at night. I mean, granted, you have the dash, so dash tells you that's fine. I get that, but sometimes it's kind of nice to be able to just kind of glance down and see what you're in. And my fifth one, which is also kind of just a petty one for me, is the auto start stop system. Not so much the system in itself, because I don't have a problem with the system. I have a problem with the fact that every couple of days, or maybe every couple of weeks, I have an issue where it'll pop up service check engine or service auto start system and doesn't work. And I've read that all that is the battery's weak, but I shouldn't have to have an issue with that every couple of weeks. I've never taken it under warranty because it works fine a couple times after that. So kind of just being petty at that point, but it is what it is. Honestly, ultimately, if you really think about it, in the end, the question always arises, would you recommend it to another person? Yes and no. So I would recommend my Jeep to anyone that has a gravel road or anything like that as where they live, because it handles it great. I bought Falcon tires for it this couple months ago after needing tires, and they're awesome. I wish they came from it on in the factory, because they are so great off-road. If you live anywhere where you're not always on gravel or not needing the all-weather features, I wouldn't, because honestly, it's underpowered. The 2.4 liter is just so underpowered. For everyday use, yeah, it's not bad, but if you ever need to quickly get in a hurry somewhere, it's not the right motor. I say that though, no, but you have to understand that I came from a Dodge Charger RT. So I came from 400 horsepower to, I think, like 180 horsepower. I came from rear-wheel drive to four-wheel drive. I came from a sports sedan to a crossover SUV. So yeah, it's hard to say that it's underpowered, but to me it's underpowered. But I think that's everything. Like I said, I would recommend it for other people. I personally, looking back out, would have probably not bought it, but not so much because of the downfalls. It's ultimately because now I'm getting to a point where with my Mustang build, that having a truck would have been a lot more beneficial for me. But if I wasn't building the Mustang, oh god, yes, this thing is perfect. But I think I'm gonna wrap the video up here. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think about it. Thank you.